Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 hardest endings to get in gaming. For this list, we'll be looking at video game conclusions that are difficult to reach, whether they're the canon ending or an optional one. However, we won't be including the disarmament ending of Metal Gear Solid 5, as that was proved impossible to get without hacking. Obviously, we'll be getting into some major spoiler territory. Which of these endings was a struggle for you? Let us know in the comments. Number 20. Marin's Happy Ending. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. There's usually only one ending to reach in a Zelda game, but Link's Awakening gives you a nice bonus for extra effort. After washing up on the strange Koholint Island, the first character Link makes friends with is Marin. She later tells him she wishes she could turn into a seagull so that she could explore the wider world. At the end, when the island disappears due to it being part of the wind fish's dream, she goes with it. But if you beat the game without dying, you'll get a nod that Marin's wish came true. Link's Awakening isn't an overly difficult game, but not dying once is still a challenge. Number 19. The Good Ending. Metro: The Last Light.
Save your voice, Kirilo. Here, there are only dead Spartans.
Both the good and bad endings of Last Light end the same way, but the difference is whether you're alive to see it or not. The game works off a morality system, adding points for various compassionate or merciless acts. Unfortunately, it never tells you how high or low your karmic points are, and some of your decisions will be subtle or go against what the average player would do, like sparing Nazi enemies instead of killing them.
Drop them! I see them! There they are! Piece of...
It was actually way easier to reach the bad ending because of this. For your character to survive, you had to make the right choice during specific moments.
But one day we'll come back. I'll be big then. Goodbye, my friend.
Number 18. Full Purity. Warhammer 40k. Dawn of War 2. Chaos Rising.
Kairos, he who should be the greatest of us all, has bargained away his soul to the powers of chaos.
Some games force the player to forego certain gameplay features to reach a certain ending. In Chaos Rising, a new feature to the Warhammer series is corruption. It keeps track of how willing your characters are to go down a path of chaos. Some items add to your corruption levels, but also come with really useful perks to give you an edge in combat. To unlock the full Purity ending, though, you won't be able to indulge in any of these items.
Your actions have already set a shining example of honor and valor.
Of the game's 5 endings, this is definitely the hardest one to reach. It isn't as if your corruption level can be low, it has to be non-existent.
It will be as I promised. The Blood Ravens will fall.
Number 17. Grim Reaper. Way of the Samurai 3. Some games feature one ending, others a handful. But Way of the Samurai 3 has 22 different conclusions, which is just absurd. Moreover, the hardest one to get is far from worth it. The Grim Reaper ending is only unlocked if you've killed every NPC you can come across. However, since some characters are only introduced through others, you have to kill them in a specific order. Your reward is a text crawl, a mere 3 sentences long, over a still image recounting your legacy as a demon. That's a whole lot of effort for basically nothing other than some bragging rights.
No one knows what happened to the beast.
Number 16. Endings F to Z. Nier Automata. Surpassing 22 endings is Nier Automata, which has a conclusion for each letter in the alphabet. Endings A through E serve as the main finale of the game, while each one after that can only be released if you do or don't complete specific requirements. They can be found out of order, and some of them are simply reached by dying in certain missions.
Considerable deviation from area of engagement may be...
On the other hand, some of them take a lot of time and work. Some can only be reached on a second or third playthrough, and you have to actively let your allies die or abandon a mission. It isn't obvious where these endings will appear either. Number 15. Nightfall Protocol. Batman Arkham Knight.
This is how it happened. This is how the Batman died.
This is an extra ending that actually makes a lot of sense. As the Dark Knight, you'd absolutely want to make sure the streets of Gotham were safe, which means knocking out all of those most wanted side quests before you remove your cape and cowl. The good news? There's only 14 of them, DLC excluded. The bad news? You're gonna have a hell of a time getting through all of them. On top of having to stop some pretty tough contenders, your investigation skills will be put to the test because, you guessed it, you gotta find all those damn Riddler trophies. Truly, you are the gamer that Gotham deserves. Number 14. Mona Sachs Lives. Max Payne 2. The Fall of Max Payne.
Detective Payne? He's still alive! We need a medic in here now! He's still alive!
In the original Max Payne, Mona Sachs was an assassin who refused to take the detective's life. Though it was a small part, she was much more prominent in the sequel, where she acted as a romantic interest for Max as well as a playable secondary protagonist. For most players, she tragically died in the end, but for those willing to put in much more effort, you could save her life.
I had solved the case, my case, all of it. Who I am. Is it worth it?
All you had to do was beat it on the hardest difficulty, Dead on Arrival. Unfortunately, it wasn't just that all enemy AI was raised to be stronger and smarter, you also had a limited amount of saves to use throughout. Trying to be resourceful could mean replaying big chunks of the game.
God, I turned out to be such a damsel in distress.
Number 13. Saving Everyone. Mass Effect 2.
Jacob!
One of the most memorable aspects from Mass Effect 2 is its harrowing suicide mission during the climax. Depending on how you interact with Shepard's crew members and what quests you complete, they can all theoretically live or die on the mission. It's fairly likely that at least one of them will perish, but making sure none of them do is quite the accomplishment. It means getting every ship upgrade, both offensive and defensive, beating every loyalty mission, as well as delegating to your crew correctly on certain missions.
Stop it!
Here they come! Fall back! Suppressing fire! Don't let anyone through that door!
Only after the laundry list of requirements is completed should you feel safe enough to head into the finale. Otherwise, part of your crew won't be making it out alive. Damn you, Morden!
Warden here, under fire all sides. This location not sustainable.
Number 12. Purification. Sekiro. Shadows die twice.
The dragon blood surging through her veins. With this, Ashina's long night comes to an end.
We really shouldn't be surprised that getting the good ending in a From Software game is a challenge. In Sekiro, players control a ninja seeking retribution against a clan that kidnapped his lord, the young Kuro. In the regular ending, Kuro dies, but the ending in which you sacrifice yourself to save him is much harder to obtain. You have to have gathered certain items, gone through all dialogue and eavesdrop options with Kuro, chosen to portray the man who brought you up, and many other optional and easily missed choices. The game is difficult enough as is without having to worry about a checklist of obscure details just to accomplish our goal. Number 11. The Last Story. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
Some games make you complete certain objectives to earn a hidden ending. Some are earned by beating a harder difficulty. And then there's Shadow the Hedgehog, which makes you beat it 10 times to unlock the true ending. The game features a multitude of decisions that can take Shadow down 5 separate paths. At the end of each path is one final decision, a choice of dark or hero mission, giving each path 2 endings. Only by unlocking all of them, which again means beating it 10 times, do you find out how everything actually ends.
How ironic. After the way we all treated him, he saved us all in the end.
Shadow the Hedgehog isn't that hard of a game, but it also isn't a very good one. So playing it through multiple times requires a lot of dedication. Number 10. Titus Return. Final Fantasy X-2. At the end of Final Fantasy X, protagonist Tidus vanished, but in its sequel, it was possible to have him come back in a happy ending. It was just very, very tough to unlock. To do so, you'd have to complete certain events or missions at specific points, some of which wouldn't be made aware to you. In fact, you could miss out on some if you happened to choose the wrong faction. That lack of clarity made reaching this ending extremely rare, but it isn't even the hardest ending to obtain. 100% completion gave you the perfect ending, which came with the myriad of annoyances as the previous one, plus more work, and only for one extra scene.
But I like it.
Number 9. Ending A. Valkyrie Profile. In Valkyrie Profile, you play as one of the winged fairy women of the dead, guiding souls of fallen warriors. In-game, the points of your seal value represent how loyal you are to Odin and fluctuate as you complete certain quests or actions. To get the best ending, not only do you have a checklist of things you must accomplish, but you must also make sure the points in your seal value are at the right levels at the right times.
Loki, I never understood what was inside your heart.
In 1999, there was no way to know this. Even playing today, you'd have to follow a strict guide on what to do and when to do it for it to be a guarantee.
Lucian, shall we go?
Number 8. Secret Endings. Kingdom Hearts series. Do you want to see a teaser to the next game in the series that'll leave you with more questions than answers? All it takes is a healthy serving of blood, sweat, tears, and a high tolerance for Donald Duck screaming your name. Usually, the extra ending in a Kingdom Hearts game can be achieved by either trying your hand at Proud Mode or doing an insane amount of tasks in the game's normal difficulty setting, including finding all the collectibles, completing ridiculous challenges, and everyone's favorite, surviving every single cup in the Olympus Coliseum. Which usually means facing off against overpowered versions of the cast of Final Fantasy. Number 7. Hellish Abyss Ending. Fatal Frame 2. Pro tip: don't follow red butterflies into the woods. They'll lead you to ghost-infested towns where your only means of defense is a camera. The Xbox version of this paranormal investigator's nightmare added an extra ending, but it's not the most difficult one to get. That honor goes to the one with the word hellish in it. First, beat the game on hard, then Nightmare, which gets you the Xbox exclusive ending. Then beat Fatal Mode, the Xbox exclusive difficulty where most of the ghosts can kill you in one hit. The kicker? The PS2 version lets you get this ending by beating the game on hard mode. Clearly, Tecmo hated Xbox fans. Number 6. Extra Endings. Five Nights at Freddy's series. Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, the source of nightmares for an entire generation of Let's Players. In Jump Scares the Game, you are sorely overworked and beyond underpaid as you try to survive each night before you're mauled by the group of animatronics who wander the halls. If you're feeling particularly brave or foolish, you can attempt to unlock the game's extra endings by working additional nights. This can mean one of two things. 1. Setting all of the crazed mascot characters to their max difficulty and surviving the night, or 2. Finding the game's secrets and glitching your way through them. Bottom line, quit the Pizza Shack and find another job. Number 5. Pacifist and Genocide Endings. Undertale. An instant charmer to the RPG genre, a game full of unique characters, challenging gameplay, and the ability to murder everyone you come across. Or you can save them all. That too. Spoiler, play the game like normal first, then tackle the Pacifist run, and if your heart is made of ice, the Genocide run. The difficulty comes with sticking to your convictions. Either you don't kill anyone, which makes battles much harder since you're trying to avoid attacks, or you kill everyone, which makes your opponents try their best to stop your murderous rampage. Oh, and it unlocks a boss who will undoubtedly dunk on you. Number 4. The Real End. Super Meat Boy. On the surface, this looks like a cartoonishly entertaining game that'll put a smile on your face. Or not. Super Meat Boy is all of those things, while putting you through a marathon of levels that you'll swear are unbeatable until you see that speedrun video online. Ah, damn it! And there's an extra ending too? If you're feeling masochistic, you'll tackle the Dark World version of World 6. Then again, to even unlock it, you need to complete 85 Dark World levels, so you're clearly someone who's into pain. As to be expected, the Dark World is there to make you cry. but it's better than having to beat Cotton Alley for an extra ending. Number 3. The Dream Project, Chrono Trigger. Sometimes, the trickiest endings to unlock are the ones that have nothing to do with the story. Chrono Trigger's endings revolve around beating the final boss. The question is, when are you gonna fight the good fight? Surely you're not insane enough to try at the beginning of the game with just Chrono and Marl, are you? How about when Lavos is twice as strong at the Ocean Palace? Well, those are your two options for getting this secret ending. And yes, it has absolutely no bearing on the plot beyond. Wow, that was kinda cute. Can't we just have to get 100% completion like in other RPGs? Number 2. Becoming an Old One, Bloodborne. Let's be honest, getting any ending in a From Software game is gonna make you tear all your hair out in frustration. This particular ending is a mix of tedious, difficult, and kinda gross.
I knew it. I'm different. I'm no beast. Oh, God, it feels awful.
First, you have to seek out umbilical cords. You know, because people just have those lying around for us to consume before giant boss battles. As you would have guessed, this takes a bit of digging that'll either force you to explore everything or thank the gaming powers that be for that walkthrough. Next, make sure you use them before you encounter German, the first hunter. Refuse his offer, survive that battle somehow, then get ready to face the Moon Presence. Good luck!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. The Real Ending, Ghosts and Goblins series. In this classic side-scrolling platformer, your task sounds simple enough. Save the princess. Unfortunately, the game is a bit unfair, losing your armor upgrade in just one hit, going back to the start of the level when you die. But worst of all is the way to get the real ending. If you manage to make it to the end, there's always something that forces you to start at the very beginning and replay the whole thing to truly win the day. There's nothing secret or extra about it. If you want to save the princess, you gotta play twice. Seriously, we don't want to hear another complaint about Mario saving Princess Peach again. Which came with the myriad of annoyances as the previous one, plus more work. Oh god,